What is up, guys? Andrew Ferguson back again from Trading Options Daily. Wanted to give you guys another market update. We've got some big news going on this week, so I wanted to get a couple thoughts down to you guys. I actually hit my YouTube upload limit for some other stuff yesterday, so that's why the last couple of days haven't had any videos come out. But we're back at it today. Markets are open. There's a lot more volatility and fear still hanging around, but there are some interesting signs coming out and some interesting topics to talk to today. We're talking about volatility in the markets, the indecision in the markets. We're talking about crypto, the crypto winter. Is it a real thing? And the banks are thinking about interest rate hikes. Let's talk about that. Let's start with the market today and get into it here for you. So what happens? Today's market, 800-point loss Tuesday, something come back from there. We see here at the top, it closed lower, but another massive comeback in the markets. Okay. And this is just the scoop from today from the Dow Jones. It was down early on around 12 o'clock again, just like yesterday. It picked up, and then again today around that 12, well, a little bit earlier. 10 o'clock, it picked up and recovered back up higher. So there's rallying, right? There's rallying here. And if you look at the chart on the SPX or on the Dow, let's start with the Dow Jones. I talked about this candle last time, right? This big hammer candle on Friday or yesterday, and I wrote about this one. So we see this rejection, right? Rejection of the lows. It gets brought back up. This one here, we have a battle going on again. People are undecided. People are waiting for more information. There's some buying, which pushed it up to this area right here at the top of the daily high. There was selling that brought it all the way down here in the morning. We landed somewhere in the middle, right around where we closed the previous day. Let's go back to the S&P 500. Same kind of thing. It was just a little bit less of an up day for the S&P. There was the battle, though. It's a battle, an indecision, right? It's called the doji, where there's selling pressure, bringing it down, and that's bought back up. There's buying pressure, bringing it up, and ultimately the sellers win the end of the day and bring it back down. But it didn't really move the needle, right? And the red candles, it opened here at 4370. It closed right around 4356, so a small 1% drop. But in the terms of the range from the day, very, very minimal movement. It is indecision in the markets, which means we're going to look to see what kind of data comes out today after the market closes with Microsoft reporting earnings, and the big one tomorrow with the Federal Reserve and the Bank of Canada both releasing their plans for interest rate hikes, and when those will be, any kind of quantitative easing they're going to put into effect. That's all coming out tomorrow, hopefully. I think this indecision type of candle that's in the market is waiting on those kind of results, and then people are going to make a decision based on what Microsoft comes out with today for earnings, and also tomorrow with the bank reports, and also Tesla reports earnings tomorrow as well. Moving on to cryptocurrency, the sell-off in the stock market that we're seeing has not been kind to crypto as well. We're talking about, is there a crypto winter? Okay, Bitcoin is down 50% from record highs. Microsoft earnings just popped, so I'll open those up and I'll go through those live as well with you guys on today's episode. Okay, we're down 50% from 70K down to 36,000 US. And talking about a crypto winter. Crypto winter is when kind of it's in a bear market and it's not gonna move too much. If you go back to the chart, let's take a look at Bitcoin, the US price Bitcoin. So we've been in this decline, right? All the way since, don't mind that, but all the way since November we peaked, and then we've just been on that road down, lower. We couldn't get over this high, and so now we're into a 3-month low. We're matching up back with the summer lows though. And there at that 30,000 mark is an area of definite support. If it crosses underneath that, then I'm inclined to think we're in a bear market long term for Bitcoin. But for me personally, we're just in a market decline, and this is the same kind of issues that are plaguing the main market. There's fear of uncertainty. There's some selling going on. When people have fear or there's risk in the market, the higher volatile assets tend to go. Bitcoin is not yet decoupled from the stock market, so it's not decentralized fully yet, so it's just mirroring what's happening in the markets. People are taking risk off and rotating their capital away to other indices and other products. So I would expect, if that's the case, then gold, let's say, would be going up in this time, or other commodities. Now let's take a look at what gold's doing. If you look at the chart, yes, gold has been on the incline. It's kind of range bound a little bit, but it has been increasing during this market drop. January 3rd right there. Okay, that's where we started the year. So year to date, it did dip a little bit with the market, but then it's recovered nicely and is starting to move back up. So gold is moving in the opposite direction of the market. It's up around 2.5 to 3%. since the start of the year. So that's interesting that it's uncoupled and it's being used as a store of wealth right there, a nice hard asset that's protecting people's money. So maybe somebody's going into gold, coming out of the crypto markets. Who knows? This is my theory, my take on it. Okay, but I do not think crypto winter is here. I'm looking at Bitcoin at 30,000 to confirm that. That is just my own personal belief. You are free to choose whatever you like. Moving on, something I want to talk about and that I can't stand is when you see these news reports and the headlines are what are instilling a lot of the fear. And if you don't think that economists and reporters and these news markets have an agenda, it's completely wrong thinking, in my opinion. They are sending a message for a reason. Somebody stands to profit from the news that they're pumping. And it's usually negative, but today's headline, I just wanted to highlight this from Bloomberg. Bank of Canada facing major dilemma on interest rate hike timeline. Okay, so they're making it this big bad thing that there's this big decision that has to happen. They're citing Omicron, winter. Do you think interest rates are going to be raised in the middle of the madness? It doesn't really matter, and this has been true for the last number of years, what Canada is going to do. They usually just mimic whatever the U.S. does, which is why I like to look at the Federal Reserve meetings. Jerome Powell speaks tomorrow, and whatever he says usually goes or has been the verbiage that is followed in Canada over the past few years. So the other article I wanted to share is just this one. Bank of Canada will hike 100 basis points over 12 months, David Dodge. That is the headline they want you to believe and instill the fear, but you have to look through that and deeper into the article, okay? David Dodge, this economist or whoever this guy is, that's the article that he pings. What does it actually say? I don't know what the bank will do next Wednesday, but what I do know is that over the next period, over the next year, those rates are probably going up at least 100 basis points. But the beginning of it, I don't know. Okay, how does he know this? Does he go on to say what he thinks is the cause for this? David Dodge, come down considerably with inflation. He was at the helm of the Bank of Canada, so let's assume he knows what he's doing. That's not always the case, but he doesn't give any concrete answers to why he thinks this. Just he expects it's going to come down, but he actually doesn't know what's going to happen. That's just his guess. So this headline is so false and so wrong for so many reasons, but people take it as actual gospel and they actually make decisions based on this. When you can't do that, you have to sit, be patient, and see what actually happens. Like, this is all just talk and hearsay. See what happens tomorrow. See when they actually do decide to raise those rates. Take the cue from the Federal Reserve from the U.S. first. That's what I'm looking to do, and I'll be looking in and seeing that tomorrow. And let's see what happens with Microsoft here, just to close out the video. Microsoft beats on earnings and revenue for fiscal second quarter. Awesome. That's good. Hopefully this kickstarts the bullish run or a bullish rebound for the economy and for the stock market. Earnings were good, above expectations. They made an extra $1 billion this last quarter. Increased over 20% year over year revenue, which is a little bit less than the previous quarter, but that's okay. That's pretty good. Cloud segment, 18 billion in revenue. That's great. Above consensus again. So they're beating metrics on everything here. Cloud services grew by 46%. Okay, right up with expectations. Above the street account. That's good. So the shares are down 13% since the start of the year, but everything that points from the last 3 months is good for this company. And again, if you didn't catch it earlier, they acquired Activision Blizzard, huge gaming company, $68 billion in cash to buy that company. They've released Windows 11, okay, new Surface laptop. So there's a lot going on, and it doesn't say here if the stock has popped after earnings, but I'm assuming that it would have. Let's go take a quick peek, and I'm assuming that if this is the catalyst and we get good information from the Fed tomorrow, then, well, there you go. Holy cow, it's actually dropped $10 after hours, even with good earnings. So maybe earnings were priced in. It's weird, you know, like the companies have good revenue, they have good growth. You can see that the forward guidance is good, and still sometimes it sells off. That's just the way it goes sometimes. That's when there's a lot of fear and panic in the markets. I do expect this to carry forward, and at some point in the near future, this is going to be a good sign for Microsoft, and this will bounce back. But hopefully tomorrow we can couple this good news, even though the market's selling off right now. Hopefully tomorrow it picks back up, and the Federal Reserve, like I said, will report some good news for us, and we will take that and digest it, okay? But again, not making any decisions right now, kind of that stand pat and wait type of attitude. Federal Reserve comments tomorrow. Bank of Canada will hopefully follow suit with that. And Tesla reports earnings after hours tomorrow. If Microsoft has any indications of what's going to happen, hopefully Tesla will report good earnings as well. Even if the market sells off, revenue drives further growth. It's just a matter of time before this thing flips and we go back upwards. Just sit and wait is my advice right now. That's what I'm going to do. Free to make your own decisions, but I am just going to sit back, digest the data, hopefully get some good news tomorrow. And maybe Apple on Thursday or Friday this week also reports earnings, and hopefully that's good as well. Just kind of level things off. We can find a base here, and the markets can slowly turn around and move higher in a nice V-shaped recovery. That's it for this episode today. Thanks for checking it out. I will see you guys in the next one. Keep investing in yourselves.